Welcome to Rice University Editing 101. Hi everyone, my name is Rice if you're new here, and welcome back to my channel. Pretty much the hardest thing about my YouTube journey thus far was trying to figure out how to edit. So as a really big thank you to all of you guys who supported me along the way, I wanted to kind of share my editing process as well as some tips and tricks that I picked up along the way. So without further ado, let's get started. So for the first 16 videos on my channel, I filmed and edited exclusively on my iPhone XR that I got in 2018. So you definitely don't need, the newest iPhone, the newest stuff to make YouTube videos. I edit exclusively on my phone using a software called vllo. I only edit on my phone because vllo isn't supported on my laptop because I don't have the newest MacBook. I believe any laptop that has the M1 chip or newer can do this, so feel free to follow along, but as of right now, I do everything exclusively on my phone. The way that I personally like to think of my editing process is kind of like a cake where we'll add adjustment layers one on top of the other until we have our final creation, which is, the cake. The things that I'm going to be going over today include number 1, basics, frames, text, stickers, sounds, transition, color, and then that'll be it. So let's start with the basics. There are a ton of other videos that go more in depth, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this. All you have to do is select the videos and import them into the app. I like to have them all in chronological order before I get started. First things first, I like to trim my videos, get rid of all of the awkward ums and unnecessary pauses. With the rise of short form content, I like to keep my videos short and to the point or else people get bored. Next, let's talk about frames. First thing I like to add after I do my basic trim is a frame. All the frames I use are available in the native vllo app. I like the simple line frames and the film frames for a more retro vibe. Then I also like to add text. So some of the fonts that I personally really like to use will be listed here. Pro tip, you can add a dark outline to your text to make it pop more. This works really well, especially if your text is white. I also like to use multiple fonts to keep the audience visually engaged. There are endless options for different fonts on dafont.com. I've linked a video tutorial on how to import fonts into vllo if interested. When it comes to sound, I source all of my music from Thematic. For the first 6 months, I used a regular account, so I think sound effects are something that I noticed not a ton of YouTubers mention when it comes to editing. Adding sound effects during scene changes or when things pop up on the screen can really help to keep the audience engaged for longer, and my favorite sounds on vllo include mouse click, camera shutter, pop, short whoosh, ding. Feel free to play around with the sounds, and you can also import your own as well. A lot of people say show not tell when it comes to YouTube, but why not do both? You can show yourself doing something as well as narrate it to keep people interested. You can even talk about something completely different than what you're doing in the video. For example, a reason why I like Doobie Doobop is because she talks about interesting topics while showing herself cook. This is really great, especially if you're more camera shy and don't feel entirely comfortable yet talking on camera. There's also a voiceover function native to the vllo app where you can record and edit voiceovers. I use the microphone on my old earbuds that came with my phone, but you can also use an external mic if you have one. You can also make any adjustments as needed to the voiceover directly in the app. vllo also has a lot of really great stickers you can also add. Some of them are also animated too, so it makes your videos more dynamic with more moving elements. Sometimes when the stickers pop out, I also like to add a sound effect. I think stickers also help to contribute to the overall vibe you're trying to give off in your videos. Next, we're going to talk about transitions. So transitions are completely optional. You don't have to go overboard, but it definitely helps by adding an additional moving element to your video. The best part is it's super easy to do in vllo. All you have to do is just click on the small white box in between the clips and select the transition you like the most. Next, let's talk about colors. The key is pretty natural lighting. For me, I like to film in the morning around 10 AM if possible. I would highly recommend not filming at night. It just doesn't look as pretty, especially if you have ugly light bulbs like me. At the very end of my editing process to make my videos look more cohesive, I'll add a filter to the entire video. Kind of like how people add filters on Instagram to make their feed look more cohesive, I like to do the same to my videos. vllo has a lot of filters in the app, or you can even create your own custom filter. I normally put a low opacity around 15%, but it depends on the overall feel you're going for. Feel free to play around with colors until you find a style that really suits your channel. Now that you have your cinematic masterpiece, all you have to do is export the video. These are the settings I personally use. You can definitely export in 4K, but since I don't shoot my videos in 4K, I just use the Quad HD setting. Getting started on YouTube is the hardest part. Now that you're an editing master, I wish you all the best of luck on your editing journey.